Peace and love, family. Peace and love. I pray this video finds everyone feeling incredibly amazing. Hope you're having an awesome Friday.
It is Friday. I keep thinking it's Saturday.
It's Friday. It is Friday.
Yes.
So I cannot see comments. So if you have questions, definitely just kind of hold them for an email or something like that, because we're not going to answer questions. But I'm here with my favorite person in the whole wide world, my best friend, my mama, and we matched today, but it wasn't planned.
No, not at all.
That's how connected we are. We wore the same color, and it wasn't even intentional. So we actually wanted to just hop on this live because, as you guys know, we are world travelers. We secured a place in Costa Rica. We secured a place in Egypt. And we're just not afraid to get up and make some moves. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to get on because my mama, you know, there's an age difference here. So my mama is 52.
Not yet.
51, sorry. 51. She'll be 52 in May. And I'm 29. So, like, where I am always just fearless.
Let's go. Come on.
Like, pack your bags.
Yes.
We out. She, on the other hand, is more so like, where we going? What time we got to be there? I need a full itinerary. What's the plan? Mm-hmm. And then when I moved to Costa Rica, she was like, you moving or you just visiting? I'm like, I'm moving. So then you had to adjust again. Like, what does that look like moving out of the country? So I just wanted to talk about you traveling over 50, moving out of the country over 50, opposed to like my generation, myself. We don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. But then I also want to shine light on the fact that it's so cheap. It's so affordable. There's no reason to be afraid to travel because it's easy to do. Mm-hmm. So I want to first ask you, like, how did you make that adjustment? Because you raised 4 kids and you had a 9 to 5. How did you actually make that adjustment at 50 years old to be location independent, to travel the world, to even move to Egypt, which you love? Mm-hmm. Like, how did you have to pray about it?
I did. I had to pray about it. Of course, I had to assess everything because I'm super analytical, so everything has to make sense. So being spontaneous is sometimes not that easy for me. Mm-hmm. However, a lot of prayer. And then after going, just visiting and seeing it. Now, I don't think I would be one of those people that would just like go. Uh-huh. Like, I have to have some information. And the fact that you had already been there and could kind of give me a realistic picture of it, not what we see on the internet and different things like that.
Right.
Like you were there,
right.
You know, you met people that I got to meet as well later, but I had like tangible evidence because you had actually been there. So I think in that aspect, that kind of was the icebreaker for me. Knowing that somebody that I love, family's there, my grandbaby's there, you know. But it definitely took some adjusting. And I think the biggest thing is being older, it's like we're always waiting. I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to wait till I save this money. Wait till I have vacation. Wait till it's like you're always waiting for something. I think childhood? It's like it seems more like a societal construct. You work a 9 to 5, you wait till you have vacation time, or when you retire, you know, then I'm going to travel. And what I've come to realize is people have less money after retirement. So the things that they couldn't do while they were working, sometimes they really can't do it now. So it's definitely just prayer, you know, dealing with someone with lived experience, someone that could share the information with me, and then just going. You know, that's the biggest thing, just jumping out there and going. But it was a process.
Yeah. So had I not had already gone before everyone, you would have been apprehensive?
Probably at first. Probably at first.
Because the conversations that we've been having lately, you're so free, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, did the freedom that you're feeling now come from traveling, or were you already transitioning to this level of freedom? Or did traveling have something to do with your freedom?
I would say 50-50.
Okay.
For one, leaving corporate America, becoming an entrepreneur full-time, experiencing that level of freedom, and then knowing, hey, I can travel when I want to. You know, so it kind of went together.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, now I'm like, shit, let's go. Like, I've already got some places, like, I want to go to this part of Africa. I want to go to Zanzibar. I want to, like, there's so many places that I want to see. And I think for me also, actually seeing the beautiful waters in Costa Rica, seeing the Red Sea in Egypt, seeing the Eiffel Tower in person in Paris, like, pictures and actually being there and seeing it for yourself is totally different.
You're absolutely right. And then, like, but you didn't even travel as much as you travel now in your younger days because you had the children,
right?
You had the job. And so what I love about what we show the world is, like, I mean, even though I'm an adult, I have my own children now.
Right.
And so your story, you didn't do it because you had children, and I'm doing it with children. Like, look,
right,
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, and it's not. And, you know, and I tell you all the time, I wish that I would have had that same level of courage back then to, you know, travel with 4 children. But even thinking about that time and where I was mentally and all that, there's no way that I don't believe that I would have been able to do it because I had to do some other things. You know, there were some other barriers for me.
That makes sense. I didn't really think about that. Like, traveling, you having to put in that mental work first before you step. Oh, one thing I like that you say, too, all the time is, like, wherever you travel in the world, you going to take you with you.
Absolutely.
Like, no matter where you go, you're going to.
Yep.
I like when you say that. And what you just said about doing the mental work made me think about that comment that you always make.
Because it's the truth. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, are we... You know, because we've been talking a lot about relocating and becoming location independent and things like that, I see a lot of people that are like, I'm ready to go.
Right.
I need to know how to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
You know, and sometimes I can tell in the comments or in the messages, like, this sounds more like running.
Right.
And so knowing the difference, are you relocating? I say it all the time, right? Are you relocating or are you running? Because wherever you run to, you are going to run into yourself, right? Because you are right there.
Yes.
So, you know, the newness and all that nice and all that stuff is nice. But that's after a while, once you get settled, that shit will creep back up like, damn.
For real. So now you're staying in Thailand.
Depressed.
Because you done took that shit with you.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So I love that. So, so relocating, guys, is way easier than you think. And honestly, it makes the most sense, especially right now, the way the economy is being set up. Our total expenses in Egypt are $500 a month, if that. And we do want the extra stuff. Well, actually a little bit more now, but it's still significantly less than anything we would pay here. So financial freedom, you have to ask yourself, like, what is financial freedom to me? Is financial freedom not having to work paycheck to paycheck and pay these high-ass bills? Or is financial freedom having $3 million, going buying Lambos or this materialistic stuff? Because, I'm financially free. But what financially free it means to us is being able to just do anything we please without having to chase bills. And so, like, living overseas, because the cost of living is significantly.
And that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Because coming back to the States and, like, just going out to eat, I was sick.
I was sick, too.
I was like, we just spent $75 on 3 meals that, one, were full of, preservatives. It made our stomach hurt. And then it cost way too much.
And the service was terrible.
Yeah, like, we could have fed 5 families on that 75.
We could have
probably
fed way more than that.
Yeah. Well, if you do 3 meals, we would have been able to feed about 4 or 5 families.
So just being here and seeing how literally it's I hate to say this, but it's like we're being taken advantage of left and right. And I don't like to speak negative things. I'm very optimistic, but I actually got to call a spade a spade. Being able to go abroad and experience life the way that we experience and come back here to what you just described, it breaks my heart. And even as far as the children, like, oh gosh, y'all.
And
like,
the energy. Yes. The energy is so different.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and like, I am a very diverse person, right? Because I work in the mental health field, and so I've come in contact with a lot of different people over my lifetime. But even when I look at the people overseas, like in Costa Rica and Egypt specifically, the energy is different, and the people that are there do less with more, and they are genuinely happy.
They are so happy.
I was in Walmart the other day, the people pushing the buggies like they pissed, like, ugh, you know, and just looked like the energy and the life had been sucked out of them. And I guess it's more apparent now because I have something, you know, drastic to compare it to. And it's really sad.
It is.
It's really, really sad.
And I'm glad that you brought that up. The people overseas do way more with less. And that made me think about our housekeeper, Momo.
Oh, my goodness.
So our housekeeper,
Muhammad. Yes.
Muhammad makes about $90 a month cleaning 5 days a week. And $90 a month, y'all, you know, like, think about that number. So I would assume that he gonna take that $90, save it, make it stretch, make it do what it do. Tell me why Muhammad comes to clean the house one day with a huge bag of toys. So he done spent his little salary on toys for the baby, like a car, a doll,
a walker,
stuff for her hair. Yes, a walker. I'm like, well, how did you walk? How did you even carry all this stuff here? And he came with bins full with toys for the baby. Because he wanted to be grateful. And then he came to work that day. I'm like, oh, I got to go to the ATM machine to pay you. He's like, don't worry about paying me today.
He invited us to the his sister's wedding.
Yes, and then asked us to come to the wedding with him.
Had a ride and everything
right.
for
So
us.
think about this scenario. We go to clean somebody's house here in the States. We take them gifts. Then they tell us we're not going to pay them today. We're going to have an attitude. He did not have an attitude. He said, okay, no problem. Do y'all want to go to the wedding with us? I have the driver here to pick you up at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm like, let me just pay you. And we'll figure everything else out. But the fact that he came with all them gifts, it just spoke. It was a testament of his heart.
Yep.
And it goes back to what my mama was just saying. They do more with less. You know, and he even came and he cleans immaculately. So he puts
laundry.
Yes, he does our laundry. He puts cute. He makes.
Oh with the towels.
Yes.
Yeah, the little.
Oh my God, he brought us food. Remember that day?
For days, we couldn't even eat it all.
Y'all.
We were slick trying to figure out what to do with it.
We had so much food that he was bringing us. And we're like, Muhammad, we don't need any more food.
Yeah.
He kept bringing. We said we were going to make smoothies.
Yep.
Y'all, shame on us. All the food went bad because it was so much.
We bought a blender and everything, and it never.
We had good intentions.
We really
didn't work out.
We really did.
So I wanted to also just talk about how much you love Egypt, and you know at what point did you say, oh, this is what I want to call home? Because we were just there on vacation,
right?
Ended up getting a house.
Yep.
But what was that like for you? Because that was so random.
It was a multitude of things. The ancient Egyptian history, which I talk about that all the time because it just really changed my perspective. It was just life changing. The Nile River, the people, the way that the people are, the culture, the prayer. You know, in Egypt, where we were, like, you could hear the prayer over the microphones, just praying over the city.
That was so beautiful.
The men, you know, stopping whatever they were doing to pray, and a lot of them were kneeling, you know, side by side praying, and I don't know if they knew each other or not. It didn't matter. It was that time to honor God, and it was prayer. And like, if they left their posts, if they were at the cash register, if they were serving food, it was like,
we'll be right
hold
back.
on, we gotta go pray. And everything stopped.
Yeah.
And look, it gives me chill bumps. Like, to see a country to come together in prayer like that.
Yeah.
There's no words for it. There's no, like, and I'm not trying to stir up any controversy, but I've been to different places of worship, and I've seen where people will sit on the opposite side of the room because they don't like each other.
Yeah.
You know? And there in Luxor in particular, what I saw for myself, it didn't matter. Because they did get into an argument.
Yeah.
They were arguing outside.
Yeah.
But it didn't, like,
At the
prayer
end,
time,
they
it
wanna
was
pray together. Yes.
game
It was
over.
with.
Yeah.
At any point, did you ever feel unsafe in Egypt?
No.
Never.
No, I didn't feel unsafe. One of the things that I love about Egypt also is the respect that they have for women. Because we were walking around like more Western than anything. And so the males that we did business with, the person that owned the property where we went to eat, if we were sitting somewhere by ourselves, they would come and sit with us. And at first I was like, dang, we can't go nowhere.
Right.
But it's a form of protection.
Right.
So they make sure that there's a male presence so that nothing, sounds like Phoenix, so that people don't approach us, which they don't anyway. So it's like having like bodyguards, but not really having bodyguards.
Yeah, they were always on guard though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, they were always on guard. Excuse me 1 second, y'all.
So it was definitely, but yeah, back to what she was asking, like there was never a time where I didn't feel safe. The panhandling is a little extreme. Especially if you stand out looking like an American, they will definitely, because tourism is their stream of income, one of their biggest sources of income. So they will try to sell you, all sorts of sunglasses, bookmarks, and a lot of the temples, especially in Cairo at the pyramids and Giza, you do have a lot of panhandlers. So just understanding that, and telling them no and being consistent, that's really the only thing that I felt was a little annoying, for lack of better terms, because there were times where I really would have liked to have looked at some of the things that they had, but as soon as you stopped, for them it was like, oh, she's interested, and then they'll try to sell you something.
Okay.
But the food is absolutely amazing.
It really is fresh.
Everything is fresh.
And it like the wait times, even though everything is served fresh, like the wait times aren't astronomical.
Right.
Everything is just absolutely wonderful. So we'll wrap up because both the babies are awake. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna finish this video 2 seconds, okay? All right. Okay. So
life as a mom and a grandma. We tried to hurry while they were napping.
We did, but didn't nap long enough. So I guess I would like to wrap up by just really talking about what you have coming up as far as your group that you've created for the 45 and Up Club.
Absolutely.
Why did you create that? And what can people... Okay. Why did you create the 45 and Up Club travel group? And what can we expect? What's coming?
So I created the 45 and Up group for one because there's no couples my age that are out here traveling or relocating. So there's not a lot of people that are out here showing that you can travel after 45. And so I wanted to create a community where we can talk, we're going to have a Zoom meeting where we sit down, and support each other, talk about the challenges, talk about the fear, and it's going to have a therapeutic aspect of it because we do need to get to the core of why we're leaving, what we're leaving behind, the things that we need to be able to let go of, those attachments. And I'll just be totally transparent. Like, my mother passed away in 2019, and there's some things that I just absolutely don't want to let go of, but they're really not. The sentimental value is the memories. Mm-hmm. So is it really beneficial to keep all these things, and then I know her, she'd be like, get rid of that shit, Of course. So, being able to process those things and then just talk about different places that you're interested in living in. And we all share our experience, and I can share my experience with the therapeutic twist to it to kind of help people process it. And I think it's necessary, and I travel with my husband, and that's the other thing. You don't see a lot of married. Listen, y'all, I went on YouTube and was like, all right, let me see if I can find some couples that are traveling. And I put in after 50, and it was like dating after 50, being married for 50 years, or it was some people that were not relatable to me and my husband that I could even identify with. So I feel like it's going to help in a lot of different aspects and areas. So,
Yes.
so our live.
So we were trying, like we said, we were trying to be proactive and get this live done while everyone was kind of doing their thing. But that's exciting, y'all. So if your parents want to travel and they're scared, if you want to travel and you're like, I don't know where to start or how to do it, my mama and my dad are over 50 and they are traveling the world.
Yes.
They live in Costa Rica. They live in Egypt. So it's like they are the example. We don't have an excuse. So if you are feeling like you're ready to, hold on, y'all. If you feel like you're ready to take that next step, okay.
Or you don't know where to start.
I'm gonna go. We'll come back on. Or Mom, you can keep talking if you want.
Okay.
Let me see if I can see some questions.
So you don't know where to start, or you just trying to muster up the courage. This is definitely a safe space to talk about anything, because of course it sounds really good in theory, like, yes, I'm going to relocate. But like I said before, there's portions of that we have to take a look at. And, my husband and I, we both come from two totally different backgrounds and never saw ourselves in this position. So that's another part of what we really want to share is our experience, because anything is possible and there are no limits. And as Zainab said, it's cheaper to travel than it is to live here. The cost of living in some of the places, the transportation, like in Egypt, primarily, like getting around, everything was dirt cheap and it was safe. The food was good. The people were awesome. So why not? Ask yourself that question. Like, what is stopping me? Why not travel? So you guys can go to my website or you can follow Zainab's page. My website is liferevitalized.org, where I'm going to be hosting a group every other week. I also created a free ebook. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you can download it from the website. And it's 8 tips, things to consider as you're thinking about leaving the U.S. And I also have another ebook that's a little bit more in-depth about it as well. So everything that I'm doing right now with my husband is centered around helping people to, put things in perspective to travel, the things to think about, things to consider, weather, all those things that, sometimes doesn't come right away, where it's like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about medical care, or I didn't think about a support group, or, and we need each other.
We do. I was about to say, we need to be able to know what to expect when we abroad, because I don't know if some of you have seen my reel, but Phoenix got sick. She had a fever in Egypt, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, what do we do? So I'm glad that you covered that in the book too, because that was something we experienced, and we were like, oh my goodness, what to expect. So yes, we need each other. And in her book, she talks about like finding your tribe abroad. What does that look like? But I don't think you mentioned that. We're actually gonna go. She's taking people to Egypt. So
oh yeah, I didn't mention
we're
that.
actually going to Egypt. So so I don't know if you guys know. If not, I'll tell you here first that I'm shifting my brand. So I'm now Mama's on a Mission, because I am just wholeheartedly wanting to support high vibrational mamas that want to travel the world and make money while they do it. Because freedom, financial freedom, to travel the world, and we can talk about that later. But basically, Mama's on a Mission is Phoenix Rising is now shifting to Mama's on a Mission. Mm-hmm. So my target audience, like who I'm going to be working with, are high vibrational mamas. So my mama has curated a group for her age group, and we're going to Egypt in August. So she'll be taking 15 people to Egypt for 10 days. And so you can also get a feel. Do I want to relocate to Egypt? Is this a place I can see myself living long term? Or if you're just obsessed with the history and you want to see it and feel it in person, you want to go to these temples, you just want to go to pray. I mean, it's designed for that as well. But if you're anything like us and you get waves of inspiration in new places, we want to stimulate that. Mm-hmm. So it's 10 days in Egypt. We're going to do the pyramids. We're going to the Red Sea. Yes. We're going to be in Luxor. Like, it is is truly going to be a trip of a lifetime. It's everything that we experienced.
And better.
And better, yes.
Yeah, because now we can add our own.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm excited about that. And that's August the 18th through the 28th. So August the 18th through the 28th, we are taking, she is taking, I'm going. But, well, we'll actually be there. But
yeah, we'll be together.
Yeah. So we'll be doing 10 days in Egypt. But if that's not something you're quite ready for, but you are considering moving abroad, I think those groups that she's doing, the relocation groups, would be extremely beneficial for you because it's bringing up those topics. Are you running or are you relocating?
Right.
How do you create the community abroad? How do you create a home environment in a new place? How do the children adjust and stuff like that?
Exactly. And that group is going to go live next Friday at 8 p.m.
Okay. Next Friday, 8 p.m. So I think that's awesome. Just to have that community, and it's even a space where we want to connect. Like if someone is already living in Costa Rica and they're in that group and you are interested in Costa Rica, you can easily connect with that person in Costa Rica. So it's about unity, community, and just really getting the ins and the outs, because moving abroad is beautiful, but there are some cons. There are some things to consider, like language barriers, the money conversion.
Even Costa Rica, that's become like a place where people are moving to. So we've noticed just in the last 6 months that things have gotten more expensive.
Like crazy.
Yeah, things have gotten more expensive, the housing.
Yeah.
So, but now Panama, is right on the line.
Yeah.
And so that's another place to explore.
Yes.
There's different parts of Panama, and, right at the beginning, it's just like the Caribbean side of Costa Rica.
Yep.
So you can get the same thing for less until that area becomes inundated, because I feel like people are really starting to feel the need to leave the U.S.
Because if you think about it, every place has an energy center point, and the United States is an energy center point, but it's like sucking us dry.
Absolutely.
The moment you leave this center point, you feel liberated, you feel elevated, you feel free.
Yep.
She never stopped crying in Egypt. Every single day she was crying. And I'm like, why do you keep crying? And she just was saying, I feel so free. I feel like I can be myself.
Yep.
I feel like I can
full.
breathe. And
Yeah.
So, like, her experience alone is an example of being out of this place. Because if you think about how we're surrounded, we go to the store, and there's so many people still in the rat race. There's so many people, like, thinking to themselves, how am I going to feed my family? Oh, my God, I got to go to this job that I don't want to work at. Like, there's a lot of internal things going on, and they emit that frequency. So now we're just casually shopping, and we're picking up on that energy. And it's like, dang, I feel heavy now. It's because you're receiving that energy. So, just think big, think outside the box. What the biggest thing I want you to take away from this live is that moving abroad is easier than you think. It's cheaper than you think. It makes way more sense than living in the United States, especially right now. Those stereotypes that it's not safe, like, that's just not our story.
I feel like it's just a way to keep us from leaving.
Yeah.
Because we've never felt like we were in danger.
I feel more safe there.
I feel more afraid with the way the people drive.
Yeah, they drive this.
They drive real crazy in Egypt.
So, anybody that has questions about relocating, the best place to get those questions answered is her relocation group, because she's offering one-on-one feedback and one-on-one calls where you have, like, it's live, nothing is pre-recorded unless you miss a weekend or something. You can get the replay. But the best place to really get those questions, those realistic questions that you have answered, is her group. And then if you want to go to Egypt, space is very 15. We're taking 15 people with us. And it's a full 10-day. Everything is included in that 10-day except for your flight to Egypt. That's the only thing that you are responsible for. But once you get to Egypt, don't worry about your food. Actually, souvenirs. If you want to get souvenirs, you'll have to get that on your own.
And money to tip the people.
Yeah.
Because they, like I mentioned earlier, they thrive off of tourism. So anytime anyone does anything, we have to, it's customary to tip them.
But a good tip is like $2.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, even 50 cents. So, we did the conversion. Like, if you just tip 50 cents, that's a great tip. Mm-hmm. So, 50 cents to $1 is great. So, think about maybe, like, $50 or more for tipping, but a minimum 50 for 10 days is going to be great. You don't need more than that
to tip.
Yeah. So,
you know your own spending habits, though.
Yeah.
So I would never encourage you, to not bring enough or bring to, like, your spending habits. If you want to buy souvenirs and things like that, be realistic.
But I'm really excited. I didn't get a lot of, well, actually, because we moved this time.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of souvenirs.
Yeah.
And y'all might do the same.
And the
like,
thing also,
like, I'm not going back.
yeah, and then the other thing too, as far as like the souvenirs and stuff, because we're there, like we know where to go to buy things where the prices are not inflated.
Right.
Because we went to one place for a pair of pants that were $45, and then we went to a local place and it was $5, same pants.
They really tried to play us.
That's the only, like I said, that's the only negative part of that. But once and because we've kind of learned how to navigate, we're not paying them kind of prices.
No.
At all.
No, not at all. So, I'm happy that everyone that tuned in was on here today. If you have any questions, definitely join the group. Her Instagram is Life Revitalized. I'll tag her in this chat, or not in the chat, but like in the comment section on this video. Also, YouTube, her channel starting. I'll share. Everything will be shared on this particular post. So share this post. If you have some people that are like, I want to move abroad, but I don't really know where to start, she is the one that you want to connect with, because she puts a therapeutic spin on it and really helps you get to the nitty gritty and the root of like why you want to relocate, which is very important. And then also just really having that community of people, because if I went to someone and said, hey, I'm moving to, actually I did. When I moved to Costa Rica, people were like, why? And I don't need that type of energy. I want to be a part of the community that's going to be like, go ahead, girl.
Yes, let's do it.
When's your flight? So join the community so you can get that support also. And yeah, just stay tuned, guys. I'm excited about
a lot
Egypt.
coming up.
So,
a lot coming up.
Yeah, if you want to come with us to Egypt in August, sign up. Is the link open yet?
Well, what you can do is you can subscribe on the website, and then I will send out an email with all the details.
Okay. So, cool. So I'll just put that in the description.
Yeah, so you go to liferevitalized.org, subscribe, and then you'll receive information with all the sign up.
And Egypt is August the 18th through the 28th. And it's 10 days, all inclusive. Do you want to say the price, or you just want to send the information out later?
I'll send the information out. It's affordable. No fears. It's real affordable.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing price. I will tell you, well, I ain't going to tell you nothing. Just go subscribe and get the information. It's affordable. Guys, it's insane what all you get for the cost. But stay tuned for more of our travel videos and stuff like that, because we want to intentionally do this often just to encourage you, to show you like this is possible. You don't need a whole lot of money to do this.
You sure don't.
And our deposit to move into the place in Egypt was it was $15 because that's all I had. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take 15 US.
And then he wouldn't even look. I was like, we need to write out, because I'm analytical, we need to write out some type of paper saying this is for the deposit. He was like, if you want me to write it, I'll write it. But it's not necessary.
No, it's not. No credit check, no background check.
Nothing.
He just took
your word.
Your word
face.
is the bond.
Yep.
So I gave him $15 for the house. He was like, all right, cool. And then I went out of town. So I left. Well, we all left and came
we
back.
Did.
So we got the key for $15, left, and then we came back, and then we moved all our stuff in. But that's how easy it is. Like, we walk into these apartment complexes here, and they want to do references, and they want to...
All that BS.
Yeah, and it's not
all
necessary.
that BS. References, background check, credit check.
Yes, the credit check is
if you have one thing, now you can't move it. They are not even on that type of time over there at all.
No, we live good.
Yep.
We live so
can't wait
good. I can't
to
wait
get
either.
back.
How many days? 20 days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back home. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end the live. Again, connect with Life Revitalized. If you want to come with us to Egypt, go subscribe on her website, and she'll send you all the travel details. And then if you just want to stay connected, just because you're like, I'm almost there, I just need some support and some guidance, just stay connected with her. It's going to be the best thing ever. So,
Absolutely.
do you have anything you want to close with? Or
No, I'm just excited. You guys be on the lookout because I'm going to be shooting out a whole lot of different posts with different information.
Yes.
Check your email. It's about to go down.
Yeah. And one last thing before I close, freedom. Like, we talk a lot about freedom. And I started in this industry. I started my entrepreneur journey doing credit. And that really allowed me to learn so much about freedom. And the more I learned and the more I began to travel at the same time, the more I realized how far I want to be away from this system. So it's
Same.
it's great to know the information. It's great to have it as a foundation. But the more you learn, and then the more you're in other places of the world and they don't even mention it, they don't talk about it, it's like, all right, I want to be away from this corporation altogether. So just consider that too. Think about like levels to freedom. You know what I mean? Like, it's levels to freedom. It's one level you can have an 800 credit score. The next level you can be location independent, living abroad, living your best life, only paying $100 in rent every month. You know what I mean? Just really creating the life that you really, really want. So I want to close with, think about freedom and know that there is levels to freedom, and think big.
Yeah.
Think big, and that's all I got for you. So I love y'all.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll save this post. I will tag all of my mama's information in this post, and I hope to see everybody soon. I'm gonna get a little close and see if I can see some questions, and I'll do like 1 or 2 questions. What's the best time to schedule a session with you? I think your link is live, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, so let's see. Any questions?
And I'll go back and look. And if you have any problems, just send me a DM, and then I will let you know if that's related to me or Zainab.
Yeah. All right. So I don't really see a lot of questions. So I'm gonna end the live, and we'll do this again. If you go live, I don't know. Okay, guys. So I'll see you later. I would love to come to Egypt with you, but it's too soon for me at this time. Okay.
Well, we'll be having several trips. This is not a one and done.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to different places. Egypt is one of many.
Yes.
So you may not be able to make it to Egypt, but who knows where we'll end up at. So.
Yes. And mamas, we're going all around the world, because Mama's
Yes.
on a mission is about connecting with high vibrational mamas, traveling the world with our children, seeing things that we only ever thought that we could just dream of, but really experiencing it in person. So if you can't come this time, it's totally fine. We're doing this.
Yes, this is going to be a regular thing.
All right, y'all. So I'm ending. See you later.
All right, you guys, have a great weekend.